Hi, this is Wiz. Welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is okay, and welcome back to my Audi RS5 Sportback. I'm filming this video with the iPhone 11 Pro Max as I didn't really plan to do this video today, but I just realized that it has been exactly 6 months since I collected the RS5 Sportback, and I think it is the right time to talk a little bit about it. What do I think about the RS5? Am I happy? What do I like? What I don't like? So let's get this done. First of all, I apologize if the car is not really clean, but as I said, this video was not really planned, and the weather has been sunny but a little bit windy over the last few days. I took delivery of this car exactly 6 months ago. It was December 29th, 2019, and talking about cars, obviously the best day of my life, because I could finally achieve what was for me at the time my dream car to have. I never thought I could have an RS5 at one point in my life because price is so high, and I tried hard for several months to buy one, but I just couldn't afford it. But thanks to a very special deal that I could do with my local Audi dealer Amag Crissier in Lausanne, I was finally able to collect this car and make it mine. For several reasons, I didn't drive the RS5 that much. It has currently 6,500 kilometers, which is not that much for a 6-month-old car. You have to know that due to the current coronavirus situation, I'm not working since April 1st. I'm actually still employed by my company, but I'm getting paid 80% and staying home without working. And also my wife working at home currently, we didn't really need to have 2 cars. So I decided to suspend the insurance on the most expensive one, which happens to be the RS5, and just keep the S1 for the time being. So I put the plate on again a few days ago. I didn't drive it for 2 months, and I was so happy to get back to the wheel. What is happening with the RS5? Why is it all covered in dust? No plates. So let's go to the main topic of this video. What do I like about this car? I think the first answer is the obvious one. I love the lines of the RS5 Sportback, especially the Sportback version. The coupe is also gorgeous, but for whatever reason, I prefer the Sportback one. I can't stop looking at this car when I park the car in town, when I'm just at home. I just go and stare at my car, because I find this to be one of the most beautiful Audi ever made, if not one of the most beautiful sedans ever made. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments. The A5 in general is a very beautiful car, but I love especially this RS execution. with the large fenders that gives a really aggressive and elegant stance to the car, to the typical RS bits like the front bumper, the RS grille, and the Audi Sport 20-inch wheels. The whole package gives a very refined but yet aggressive look to this beautiful RS5. And how not to love the beautiful Daytona pearl grey color. This is a stunning color in every single Audi, and together with the black optics package, it gives really that magnificent look to this car. You can't go wrong with Daytona, you can't go wrong with Nardo as well. This car was already built, that's why I had a very good price on it. But should I choose a color, I would go with the Nardo Grey. Nardo Grey is my favorite color on any Audi, and Daytona happened to be the second one. Another thing I love about the RS5 is the technology involved. When we talk about the virtual cockpit, the MMI in general, all the safety options, what I love about the RS5 is that you get a very sporty car with 450 horsepower, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in just 3.9 seconds. But at the same time, you get a very comfortable and a very refined sedan. You can carry with you without no issues at all 4, even 5 persons and all their luggages in a very sleek sedan. And also the performances. I've been asked a lot if I could really feel the difference between my Audi S5 Sportback that I owned for 1.5 years and this RS5. And the answer is yes, you do feel the extra 100 horsepower. The 0 to 100 kilometers an hour goes from 4.7 in the S5 to 3.9 in the RS5, and you clearly see the difference. Now, and then we're gonna talk a little bit more on when I will be talking about what I don't really like about this car. The real question is, if you have already an S5, is it worth to upgrade to the RS5? I'll answer this question in a few minutes. So, what I don't like on the RS5 Sportback. Maybe saying don't like is a very strong sentence. The car is almost perfection for me. There are just a few things that, for me personally, coming from an S5, are a little bit toned down, I would say, as opposed to someone that would buy this as his first Audi, I would say, or its first quick sedan. I think I got a little bit bored of the interior. The interior starts to feel old now compared to the last Audi models like the A6, A7, Q8, the redesigned Q7 as well. That has the new cabin layout with the 3 screen and with the touch screen. Maybe it is me because it is the third car with the same interior that I have. Before the S5, I had an A4 B9 with exactly the same dashboard. So I think that being this the third car with the same dashboard, commands and everything, I don't have the feeling that I got a brand new car, but that's me again. Let's come back now to the engine. So as I said, this car has 450 horsepower, and I said a couple of minutes ago that you do feel the difference. Now the question is, if you get an S5, you can very easily go stage 1 and get the exact same power with much less money to spend. So I ask the question again, if you have an S5, is it worth to upgrade to an RS5? And my answer now, especially after seeing again my S5 a couple of weeks ago, is no. it is probably not worth upgrading to an RS5 if you already got an S5. Of course, you get that RS feeling, you go one step higher, but it is at a price. The RS5 costs a lot more, especially here in Switzerland, than the S5. And don't get me wrong, I can sound like I'm spoiled with the RS5, which is not the case. Every time I drive this car, it puts a smile on my face. How could it be different, of course? So I'm extremely happy about driving this car. I would never say that this is a boring car to drive. Maybe it's not as fun as some BMW or Mercedes AMG cars, but still it is a very clinical and very fast drive. So now we get to the next topic of this video. What next? Am I still happy with the RS5? Am I already thinking about its replacement? For the ones of you that knows me very well, you know that I typically not keep a car very long. This is something that I'm not particularly proud, because as usual with me, when I find a car that I love, I jump on it, I want to have it, I do whatever it takes to get the car. Of course, always staying according to the budget I allowed myself to have monthly for a car, otherwise I would be driving much special cars, of course. But that led me to have cars that I wasn't really happy about it. One of these cars was the Tesla Model S. While it has a lot of very great features, probably I wasn't ready to have an electric car, and I wasn't ready to have a very crap built car, which is not the case with the Audi here and Audi in general. So to talk to you about what's possibly next, let's drive the RS5 now. So we're driving now the RS5 Sportback, and it is time to tell you how do I feel about the RS5 in general and what's next. So this would be a very long talk, so I'll try to make it short. But before that, let's go on dynamic. This is the only mode you should be allowed to drive this car, and manual also. And let's have a little bit of spirited drive. And then I'll talk. There is always that smile in my face whenever I floor it. And also the engine. Even if this car has the infamous OPF filter, I think that the exhaust noise is quite okay. It is not that much in your face, and anyway, maybe it's because of my age. I'm 48 currently, so I like loud exhausts, but I don't like all those look at me boy racer boom 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 and very loud exhaust. But again, that's me. I respect everyone's opinion. I like to drive this car in dynamic and manual gearbox. Even if when you go in dynamic, because of the DRC, the dynamic ride control, basically the adaptive suspensions, they get very stiff on dynamic, and it is almost disturbing sometimes. So most of the time I'm on individual mode, where I have set up almost everything on dynamic, with the exception of the suspensions that are on comfort mode. Let's try to do a launch control. There's nobody behind me, so I'm gonna take the stabilization control off and stop the car. Hoopla! Let's go. You could probably hear the the tires sliding a little bit, But you have to know that I did that on this road, which is uphill. So it's not really representative of what this car can really do in terms of grip on the road. And also keep in mind, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more in a few minutes again, that I currently still have the winter tires on. So conditions are not ideal because you are not supposed to have the winter tires when temperature is over 20 degrees like it is now. I love the subtle bangs when you release the throttle. As I said, it is not that much in your face. It's still subtle, very Audi. Less AMG or M performance, more Audi-ish. So let's talk about what's next. I realized some things over the last few years. During the week, I don't really care what car I'm driving. As a matter of fact, most of the time when I go to work, I don't drive this car, but I drive wife's Audi S1. She's taking the train to go to work and she's currently working from home, so she doesn't really use the S1 that much. And I realized that I feel more comfortable when I go to visit my customers, when I go to the office. I feel more comfortable to have a more understated car, let's say, instead of getting in front of the customer office enterprise with a flamboyant RS5. So that led me thinking that I would rather prefer for my next car to have something more exclusive and have an everyday, a daily car that is more understated, what I used to call a shitty daily, which could be even that Polo in front of me. That one is a GTI, but I mean by that I could have a whatever car that is just a quiet everyday car, and then having the pleasure to uncover your exclusive most wanted car on weekends, for example, to go to a road trip or to go to an exclusive hotel with your wife, or to have a weekend somewhere to do a mountain pass. Why not? Rather than driving your special car every day, because in my opinion it dilutes the experience. By driving every day the RS5, I don't feel like I'm driving a very exclusive car. Let me know what do you think in the comments. Would you rather drive every day your dream car, or have that subtle pleasure to drive it once in a while? I'm curious to know what is your opinion about it. Stability control is off. Wow, it is a different sensation than the one on the Tesla. My Tesla Model S 100D was doing the 0 to 100 in 4.3 seconds, as opposed to the 3.9 seconds on this RS5. But on the Tesla, the torque was immediate, so you had a way better feeling, I would say, than what you have in this car. But still, it is astonishingly quick. I can't believe I managed to say oh wait. Okay, whatever. So what I want to do is to pursue my dream. I said several times on past videos that my dream is to own a Porsche one day. Of course, there are limitations on my dream because I cannot afford whatever Porsche I would like. I can even probably not afford a brand new 911 Carrera 4S, for example, because that would be way too expensive for my budget. But I think with me getting older, I start to get more and more attracted by old timers. So my dream would be to possibly have an old 911, where there is 964, which are very expensive, 993, which are also very expensive, or even 996, which is the Porsche that nobody likes, and those one, the 996, doesn't cost that much. So if you are clever and if you take the time to find the good one, you can have a very beautiful 911 for, let's say, 30 to 50k. Or my ultimate dream and the goal I've put myself for next year, because you always need to have goals in your life, achievable or even not that achievable goals, so you are guided to try to pursue excellence. So my ultimate Porsche goal for 2021 would be to own a GT4. Oh boy, I love the Cayman GT4. Whether it's the old one, the 981, or the brand new 781 GT4, I'm in love with the shape, I'm in love with everything. You get that RS Porsche, which is something higher than the Audi RS models. So that would be my ultimate dream. I'm already looking at what can you have, especially on the used market, because I realize more and more that the 718 new, it's out of budget for me. It costs actually the same price, gross price, as my RS5 Sportback, but here in Switzerland you get quite big discounts on Audi and you get almost nothing on Porsche. So even if the starting price would be almost the same, the Porsche would be much more expensive for me compared to the RS5. So probably I'm gonna lean more toward a 981 GT4, a used one, where you can have some things now with very interesting prices. To make it short, my goal for 2021 would be to sell the RS5 and to possibly get my first Porsche. And that would be the car I would drive on weekends, that would be the car I would drive on special occasions, and I would have a very cheap economic daily. Let me know in the comment, should you have a Porsche and a daily? What kind of Porsche would you have? And then what kind of daily would you have? And also on some related news, I'm about to bring the RS5 to the dealership and leave it there for 1 week. When I got delivery of the car, the dealership accidentally slightly damaged my rims while installing the winter tires. So they suggested me that I drive during the winter period with the wheels in that conditions, which I repeat, it's just slightly damaged on the edges. And then when I would have to put the summer rim tires on, they would take care about the issue and send the rims for repair somewhere, which means that I cannot drive the car the time that the rims are sent to be repaired and put it back in the car. So I'm gonna do that next week. And as a courtesy car, I'm gonna have probably the e-tron SUV, and I'm really excited to get that car for 1 week. I got whatever I need to charge the car at home. I'm probably gonna do videos about it, so stay tuned and subscribe to my channel and activate the notification bell so you won't miss those news. Please subscribe to my Instagram accounts. I do have actually 3 accounts. I have the main one, which is Wiz1972. If you wanna know in advance what's going on, just head over my main account. And then I have my Porsche account, which is Life of Porsche, on which I post my own pictures about Porsche models. And I still have my Tesla Swiss account. I was about to delete that account, but I just couldn't. So that account is still alive. I'm not posting that much, but if you are curious about my Tesla experience and Tesla in general, just go there, please. So this is it. Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe for more content. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.